Hi there. Here we are in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. We're going to take a few minutes to show you the early phase of our site design for this latest permaculture model. My husband and I have both been involved in farming and the organic movement for about 4 decades. But we've just come together in the last 2 years, and now we're coming together on this 1-acre site. So we've chosen this 1-acre plot. It's about 20-minute walk from the village of Vilcabamba. Vilcabamba is pretty intriguing because it has such a global culture. There are people who have moved here from all over the world. You could say this is kind of the opposite of Jeffrey Lawton's famous work, Greening the Desert. There's a lot here that's ideal. We are just 2 degrees south of the equator, but we're 1,700 meters of altitude. We get about 100 centimeters of rain a year here, and the temperature hovers right around 70 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. These conditions support a very wide range of biodiversity, and one of our goals is to see what we can do to support the biodiversity that is developed here through the indigenous traditions. The pre-Incan people and Quechua-speaking people now have 4,500 varieties of potatoes, for example. And so at this stage in the game, at this time on the planet, we feel that preserving seed diversity and our seed heritage in these indigenous strains is really critical. So we're going to do what we can to support that. And so we've been here for 5 months. We're going to give you a little tour around of where we've chosen to put our energy so far. And to really keep observing the whole system, the thing about this site that I think makes it a really good teaching site is that it's one drainage. And so it really simplifies the idea of rainwater harvesting, because the water all comes down to the bottom of the valley. And so then it's a matter of taking, somehow storing that water, and we'll go into what our ideas are for that, and then distributing it out to the drier side. So this is the drier side, and then over there we have a system of ditches and catchment basins, so that by gravity we'll be able to water everything that we're growing on that side. And over here, the main strategy is just using these swales. So the purpose of this is to move the water very slowly out of the bottom of the drainage, so the water sinks down and everything gets watered. So our work is supported by my experience doing a 2-year agroforestry project in Equatorial Guinea and West Africa, agroforestry project supported by the Peace Corps, and that project was used as a model for a $2.5 million project by the European community. My husband has 24 years of organic growing and landscape management in Hawaii. So that's the subtropical, tropical side. And then I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, high desert. I've taught permaculture on the Navajo Reservation, the Arapaho Reservation in southern Colorado, and also in Mexico, some work in Fiji and Bali. So for both of us, our first impulse was compost first, and so we built some really good quality kind of a fusion of bokashi and biodynamic compost piles. And that gave us time to clear some of the thorny acacia that covered the hillside, still leaving some of the stumps, so they're still fixing nitrogen. And that gave us time to observe the water flows on the land. And very early on, it became clear that water management would be our highest priority here. We want to put like a tank, a catchment tank, that will be like a sediment tank, that will just have like a shallow wall, maybe a meter high or just 60 centimeters high, and that we can get in really easy and we can dig the sediment out. but that we have pipes coming out at a height and that we can redirect it. So where those red tapes are along the top there, fish ponds will be able to fill during the rainy season. There might be 2 of them, or there might be 4 of them, depending on how much overflow we have. But we'll have the choice of going from the sediment tank to the fish pond, or down to swale number 1, 2, or 3, wherever the need is. The water all comes from above, so that means we can use gravity to take the water wherever we want. And so there's a municipal water tap up in that far corner behind the house, and we'll also be catching rainwater, storing it in tanks, and that will be piped down to these larger tanks. And from here, then we'll just have one distribution system that can come either from this water catchment from the road runoff or from the roof catchment, depending on what the need is and what where are we at in the rainy season or the dry season. Like right now, the main thing with water is, what to do with it that it doesn't cause erosion and destroy things, because there's so much of it. Under these beds, we really varied from what my big love is no-till, but this was not no-till. We dug down like 60 centimeters below grade.
After we built this up with the layers of brush and weeds and manure, is we put on the biodynamic preparations, the Pfeiffer field spray in particular, to help it break down faster.
So we did that because the clay is so intense that we felt like we really needed to kind of hit it hard with a fast humus making method. You can see if you go down into this, there's a lot of undigested matter, vegetative matter in here, just sticks that are in here. But after one planting season, that's going to turn into humus.
Store the nutrients rather than just let them leach out. So the Pfeiffer field spray is really good for speeding up the decay process.
So 20 years ago here in Vilcabamba, almost everybody was building with very natural materials, with adobe and bamboo, bareke style, bamboo reinforcing the adobe, and clay tile roofs. And now more and more we see a lot of concrete and people just feeling like, throw more concrete at it. Concrete's the answer. And materials, a lot more steel materials that people are being influenced by the industrial world. So we're hoping to encourage people to get back to those more natural materials and recognize that we can do them with new style, and they can be gorgeous and really effective, and then we can have homes that eventually just melt back into the earth. So this is our first step in our experiment with a fusion of earth bag building. So this is something that Nader Khalili has really started a global movement, and then so many have joined him now. We're interested in a fusion of earth bag that is not a dome. Instead, it's going to be straight walls going up with the shed roof that allows us to do roof water catchment, and we're going to fuse in the guadua, the construction bamboo, to make it a little bit of a lighter structure, better ventilated structure with more space. The straight walls will give us more interior space. It's really helpful to get your ideas down on paper, even if they're just sketches or you're not great at drawing. Put your ideas down, either 3D or 2D. I really like working with 3D models because I'm not great at drawing. Here we have kind of the center of the property. This is a circle, the place where we'll gather for music and dance and ceremony. The purpose of our work here is to create a model of sustainable living for this climate and culture, and follow the permaculture ethics, care for the earth, care for the people, and share the abundance. still fires me up after 25 years.
So we feel blessed to be here in Ecuador and be able to live this lifestyle.
So great to not have to have a car. So we encourage you to just keep looking for the sustainable lifestyle wherever you are. We'll be adding a little more. It's been a pleasure to get to share our adventure with you. And there's more information at wilcoway.com or write us.